Hey guys, and welcome back to another YouTube video. This video will go through the Brisbane versus Adelaide game, going through how it was really another shocking game for me. Josh Dunkley, he just stunk the place up. 61 for a premium forward is just, really inconsistent. And I guess go back to he had a couple of bad performances to start the year, or not as bad as that, a 61, but again, just another sort of iffy performance. He had a 77, 97, 81, 86 to start the year, and then started to put on some really good form, and then got injured, and then after that just came back strong, but then these last 2 weeks have been pretty poor. But I mean, he has Collingwood next week in a game where they can, I think it's wrap up, they're in the top four, but can they get that top two spot if they win their last two games? I'm pretty sure they can. So I guess it is important for them to come in, go in strong. So I think he will put up a better performance in the tougher game, to be honest. He's one of those players, I think. And then Jordan Dawson, 91 as well. He failed as well, so it just wasn't a good game for me. And I mean, going against Rory Laird in the really just didn't work. In the last couple of weeks, he's really annoyed me in going big. Rory Laird over Jack Steele has really cost me a little bit in the last little bit. But anyway, before we get into the video, remember to like and subscribe, turn on the notification bell so you know when I upload, and let's get into the video. So as you can see here, Hugh McCloggich 120, he's been the beneficiary of the likes of Ashcroft going down, and he's really picked it up. A 120 score is just absolutely ridiculous. 64 on the first, and then it was on 65 in the first half, and then 99 at three-quarter time, and just kicked a couple of goals, which really helped his output, and just did the job there. Then we move on to McInerney 83, so there was only really one big score from Brisbane's side. McInerney 83 doesn't really help much. Zorko 83 doesn't really do much as well. Lester 82, he's going to pop up for these scores sometimes. Neil 80, so I mean he didn't really help, so I hope the Neil versus Libba matchup goes my way this week. Berry 78, Cameron 74 as well. So it's Berry 78, Cameron 74, Bailey 74. Harris Andrews, 72, even with a goal, so it doesn't really show that he picked up anything. Pryor, 67. Dunkley, 61, just didn't get involved in the first half. It was on 24 at halftime, had given away, I believe he gave away 1, 2, 3 free kicks, which prevented at least a 70. Just needs to, get his hands on the footy more, and doesn't look like he provided too many tackles. If we look at the effort here, watch him have 6 tackles. 7 tackles is still pretty good, but just not the marks that you can really get out of Dunkley, and just not many kicks. He had 4 kicks. If you want the best of Dunkley, you need him to get up towards that 15 or so kicks, and just didn't get the kicks there. Hipwood, Wilmot, McKenna, none of these guys really mattered too much, to be honest with you. Fletcher looked good off the bench for basically a half of footy for a 24, but then again, he didn't do terribly much, but it's good to have his average decreasing a little bit. And then Gunston came off with what looks to be a knee injury. Didn't do much after quarter time, it looks like. And then you have the likes of, no one else really is too noticeable, and I don't think it will really impact next year, other than the fact that I think Ashcroft will miss from memory, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure I read that he'll miss the first little bit of next year because of that ACL, so unless he goes to Germany or something where they can fix it quicker, it looks like he'll be missing for the first half of next year. Rory Laird was just absolutely nuts in the second half, and this really killed off any chance of him just not annoying me this round. He's going to be the one that you're just going to have to look at the score and just be like, I hope you don't go big, because he just did. And I guess he beats. I mean, you could say he was against Parish or something like that, but then again, most people do have the Parish because of the double up, or 7% owned. Most people have Steele, so I guess you could say he was a differential against Parrish or Steele, so hopefully it only cost me a little bit, but then again, he did outscore pretty much everyone in my midfield. Miller 114, he just tracked well all day, pretty much ahead of the pack, and ended up 114, but he has those games where he's going to drop a 50 or 60, so I wouldn't be going for him. Matty Crouch, another really good game from him. Wouldn't be surprised if Adelaide offer him a lifeline next year, but if we look at Crouch, if we look at him 5 games, 90, and we look at the year before, we look at 2022, he's 11 games at 88, so they're going to take his best season, so the best that we can hope for is 7 games played, 88 average, which would be a priced at 80 basically for next year. Could you look at that? I think you actually could, as 5 games, 90. Has he come in? He had a sub game as well there, and he's gone basically 100 since then, so if you take out that sub game, so I think he could actually be very, very valuable next year, especially if he goes to someone like the Eagles or something like that. If Adelaide don't offer him another contract, so I think he's one to watch over preseason. Walker 98, Hinge 93, Dawson 91. He just didn't do anything in the first 3 quarters. Basically, was on 54 at 3/4 time, and then 37 in the last. Much like Merritt got him up to a 91, and yeah, could have had 94 if he didn't give away this free kick. I think how many free kicks did he give away? If we look here, he gave away, what's that, 1 free kick? Yeah, 1 free kick against 2-4, so that was the only one he gave away, but I mean, would have liked to have seen him ton up as just, I think there's some sort of mentality thing with getting a ton over just a 90. It feels like almost like a pass at these point for premiums. Schoenberg, O'Brien, McAdams. McAdams might actually win almost player of the game for, what did he kick, 1, 2, 3, 4 goals, 1 or whatever. He was pretty big. It doesn't really show on the stat sheet, but 4 goals, 1 almost, willing Adelaide on for victory. What did Taylor Walker end up with? I think he ended up with like 2 goals, 3 or something. So he wouldn't be anywhere close. So we went down to McAdams. Where is he? McElhaney 68, Pedler 65, Keys 65 as well. So his role is just gone once LAIRD came back, I guess, as well as Crouch coming back has killed off that Keys role. Nankervis, Murphy, Sloan, as well as Sloan coming back as well. They've all just sort of made that midfield a little bit too many rotations in there. So a lot of players had no midfield rotation this week. Smith, Worrell, Saligo, Rochelle came on as a sub and actually did really well in the second half. Wallace came off at, I think it was almost half-time basically, or midway through the third. And yeah, Rochelle provided a little bit of run, got to 54 in the end and kicked 1 goal, 1. So he should be back in the team next week, but it'll be interesting to see what happens with him in terms of his role next year, because I think it will turn into sort of an Isaac Heaney type role rather than moving towards a full-time midfield role. I think he'll be bits and bobs in the midfield rather than actual full-time mid. But anyway, that is pretty much the video there, as there isn't much more to go through with in terms of these guys. And that's the video, so I'll see you guys back again for the Carlton, Melbourne, West Coast Freo games, and then maybe we'll see, depending on when those 2 get recorded and timing, whether it will be 3 videos on Monday or 2 on Monday and 3 on Tuesday. But I'll see you guys for those videos. Thanks guys. Goodbye.